Hi, Firestorm has just opened up a new resident area at their social island at Firestorm. So once you've gone through your initial orientation and you end up in the social area, you just walk across to the other side of the portals and you'll find these wonderful booths that are all items for people under 90 days to get these items for free and have been provided by residents from all over Second Life that have been residents for so long that they wanted to contribute and give back to the new user experience, which is fantastic. So I hope you'll have a chance to grab them before your 90 days runs out. And if you are an older resident, I hope that you will take new residents over there when you get the chance and help them set up. And this tutorial is sort of an unpacking of that and a few little tips and tricks so that people that may not know already how to use these items can have an understanding of what to do going forward. For those that don't know, Firestorm is a third-party viewer that is an official viewer on the SL website, and they not only provide viewer support, but they actually contribute in many ways to the overall functionality of Second Life through their coding and back-end development for this Firestorm viewer, and also having social islands and gateways to help new residents. And so I hope you'll visit their location when you can. Okay, so we've been at the new resident help area at the Firestorm social island, and I've got a welcome pack avatar look on, which I explained in one of my more recent videos, so I'm not going to go into that fully, but let's take off the clothing items. You'll actually find that if you choose an outfit, it makes you a folder, which I covered before, so we don't want to worry about any of the clothing items, so we're going to take those off all in one go. So we're all baked in now. We're just in the underwear that's actually baked onto the skin, so we're going to go into the male body bases. So we're going to take off the animation controller because we won't need that, and we're going to take off the head because we get one at the welcome hub. Now, as you see, the skin is all unaligned with the UV because the heads in the welcome pack and the one that you can pick up are actually EVOX, so EVOX, which means it's a different UV than the others. Okay, so we're going to go over here to our recent tab. Now what I did quickly is I go to filter custom, I undo this, click on this, sorry, newer than 7 days. That means everything I grab in the last 7 days will actually appear in the recent tab. By default, I think it's since last login, which means if you were to crash and then come back in, all your stuff wouldn't be there. So you can just alter that at any time, which is great to have. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is Akaruka gave a fully functioning head, so that means different ears and eyes, different HUDs that you can use, gestures, animations, the whole lot. We're just going to pop on the shape, which I'll wait till I actually put on the head so you can see the changes. So I'm just right clicking and adding the head. Then I'm going to find the rigged eyes and I'm going to right click and add those. There you go, it looks great. And then I'm going to go to the shape and I'm going to wear it. Okay, so my shape's slightly changed. This is modify, as is the one that's included in the welcome pack, so if you want to make some changes you can. I'm quickly going to go into edit on this just to show you some good advice you can learn really early on, which is, say you make a change. I'm just going to adjust the height slowly in a small way, and then I'm going to press save as, and what I'm going to do is take away the word new and I'm just going to put the date here. So 14th December 2025. And that means that it will save a fresh copy of that shape, and that will go and and be available to me. So that's now in the folder with that, and it means I didn't alter the original one. I can still go back to it, and I've got a fresh one. Always save as when it comes to shapes, because then if you make some dramatic change or you just get over it, you can always go back to a previous shape that you have. Okay, so we've got the rigged eyes in, we've got the head on, we've got all these functions. There is a fully functioning HUD that you can put on. I'm not going to go into those parts as such, but I'm just going to show you quickly. It's fully featured. It's got all the different options that you can have. You can minimize it, keep it on your screen if you want to, or just click it off, because we're going to work with BOM, which means everything's baking onto the mesh. We don't need to actually have it on full time. So thinking back to where we grabbed all the items, the middle booth is for sort of like beauty spa adjacent, so hair, the head, AO, things like that. And then the men's section was the clothing and the AO, etc. So we'll just go through it the way that it sort of appears in the store. On the far left, it had unorthodox. So these are what we call hair bases. Now this red dragon represents tattoo layers. So any tattoo you get, any hair base, any face skin will all be on this kind of a layer here. So you'll be looking for those icons. So if we go back into here and we find our current outfit, at the moment we're wearing these pieces, and as you notice, it now has the Akaruka items in there. And so you can see at a glance what you have on, or you can just take those off. Okay, so we're going with Evox, as we said. These are all Evox in the Marco hair base. And let's just put on one of the black ones. Right click and add. Take a second while it bakes. Usually when you're baking a texture, everything goes grey. And there you go. So that's a hair base created by Unorthodox to fit this UV, which is the Evox UV, which the Akaruka head is, and the little heads are. Okay, then you can double click to take that off, or just right click and take off as you see fit. And then you've got the FWU hair base, also by Unorthodox, and we look for the Evox, and we'll just right click and add. Let it bake. And there we go. Oh, it's really cute because it's white. So that's the fun thing about Second Life, is you can have pink hair, green hair, purple hair, white hair. White looks awesome in a lot of hairstyles too. So we really like that. And this is actually modify, which means you can right click, go into edit, and you could in fact make it a different color if you wanted to, which is a lot of fun. So we'll cancel that out and go out there. So that was the gift items from Unorthodox, right? And then the next brand was ADE, and they have the Craig hairstyle. So this is actually packaged, right? It's all boxed in one box. So we add that, and there'll be what we call an unpacker HUD. Now, some unpacker HUDs will automatically be scripted to give you the item, and then you press accept. Some you will actually have to click them and press accept. And even if it does both, it doesn't matter if you accidentally discard it or anything like that. You can click it as many times as you need to for it to give you the delivery. Some have an X here, which means it'll detach, or some you will just have to go back to right clicking it and detach it from your inventory that way. That's really strange. Hold on a second. Okay, I found it, and I resorted everything to most recent. So I went down here and I pressed sort by most recent, and that put it at the top. I don't know what happened there. That was very odd. But see, even us old timers can make mistakes. So here we go. I'm right clicking this hair, and it'll attach, and then I'm clicking on the HUD. Now this is a partial hairstyle, so it works best with hair bases. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the Unorthodox styles that I was just wearing for reference, and let's go with a noir one, black hair color, and that'll give us the hair base underneath the hairstyle. See? So now they look amazing together. and they've created a full hairstyle. But we could do something like the ADE hair included roots, which is really fun too. So because the hairstyle's black, the hair base is black, if you put the roots option on, then you get this great transition. I could probably pull this up a little bit to fit better. Let me just show you that slower. So I right clicked the hair, I pressed edit, and then I moved these arrows up a little bit to pull it out of my head, because not all shapes are exactly the same. So sometimes you do have to tweak things. And because this was promoted as being unrigged, that means that it's not rigged to the skeleton, meaning that you can move it around. I really love this with the roots, so it gives that transitional look, and it feels a lot more natural. That's really wild. And then if you go to these scissors on this hairstyle, you can press these buttons. Look at that, and it's even animated. You're just too smooth. And then you can go back. This is a selection of different colors that they offer usually. Their full packages are, I don't know, I think it's like 100+ hair colors, but ADE did a special selection just for you guys, and it looks really great if you want something a little bit more natural. As I said, I'm really loving it with the roots because it looks so natural that way. You can try out the different colors like that. So that is the Craig hairstyle by ADE, and it looks really good. So I'm going to take off the hair base again, which is Marco, right click, take off. Okay, the next hairstyle around the corner in that same booth was by Mina Hair, and let me see if I can find that. I'm really not doing too well finding things in my inventory. I'm having like a moment, and it's really funny to me. This actually might be packed. So it is. There you go. So some of the things when they give them to you are actually going to go to your objects. Some will go to folders. It just depends on which scripting unit they're using. So if we go to Bobby, right click, again it's automatically scripted, but you could just press this to get the same thing. And then we can right click detach from there, or we can right click and detach from here, whichever one you prefer. And then we've got this full folder. Now again, remember you have to have an evox, so we're looking at the evoxes here, and let's say we'll go for a brunette base this time, so brown. Okay, so that hair base is a shaved look, and look at the back here. It's got all these amazing shaved motif in it. And then we right click for M for male, and now you've got the rigged, like I mentioned earlier, which means you can't move it around. You can't do anything with that because it's rigged. Okay, so it won't move for you. So it's always preferable for anything that's shorter than the shoulders to go with an unrigged version. Okay, so we've got the unrigged there. And she also includes a HUD for all the different types of colors. Let's go for a naturals look. And this is her color HUD here. Okay. Wait for it to load, and we were going to go with the brown. That's wild. So a man bun is very cool, especially when it's shaved on the undercut. But again, with this being unrigged, you can resize it. It looks a little bit too big. So you've got customizations that let you tint it, resize it, do different things on there. And the colors. So to resize this one, we'd click on the hair. I'm going to do all directions, X, Y, and Z, and I'm just going to take it down by a few. So that was too far, but I can bring it back up a little bit. Okay, and I could move it forward. Being proficient enough to edit things is a little bit more advanced, but I'm just letting you know that these things are possible, so don't panic with that sort of stuff. So this is the man bun look, and it looks great. And that is Bobby by Mina. The next style we have is Julian by Exile, We've got the folder here and it's packaged. Oh, I forgot to take off the HUD for Mina. There we go. Okay, so we're going to add here, right click add. It's an unpacker. We press unpack. We accept, right click detach, or right click and remove from there. We go up here and then we add the hair and we add the HUD, the master HUD, which is the colors. Very handsome. This one doesn't need a hair base because it's the full length at the back there. You've got colors 1, colors 2 is a little bit more mixes of colors. You've got settings that allow you to tint. Let me just show you how that works for a second. There you go. Remove it. And then we've got Style Me, which is really fun. A lot of the hair stores give you styling options, things like left, right, a bit wispier at the front, a bit messier. They are really cool. And you can go back and just choose a color. Look, we can have a streak of blue if we want. It looks great. And we can go white. As I said, white looks great in Second Life. Doesn't mean you're old, just means you're kind of fabulously edgy. Okay, we're going to take off Julian by Exile. And the next tear over is actually No.Match, and it's called No Wrong. Again, we're just going to unpack that up. Click to unpack, accept, right click detach or detach from the folder. Then we've got all of these here, so lots of different HUDs because of the different packages they sell. Often stores will either sell by individual kind of color packages or all-in-one sort of packages. It just depends on the store. So let's go with size 1 male. Just takes a second to load. Sometimes things taking a few seconds to load is because people could be teleporting in and out of the region. Just be a little bit longer. Oh, it's a full-blown dreads hairstyle, so that's quite amazing. Wow, the amount of work that went into that is wild. So if you ever wanted dreads, now is the time. So we'll put on the HUD. We'll click on one of the colors here. Needs a second to load all the scripts that manage the colors. Let me just move over a little bit. There you go. And customize means we can change these to silver instead of gold. And there's a style 1 or style 2 in this HUD, so that's really cool too. And again, you've got different color variations that you can go through, and all the HUDs. As I said, there's even a unicorn. What does unicorn look like? Oh. You didn't know there was such a texture pack as unicorn, did you? So there we go. That is No Wrong by No.Match, and that's actually a unisex style. So was Bobby by Mina. So they're styles that can be worn by female or male. They have sizes for both. Okay, just above No.Match was the Mr. Razor facial hair. Here we go. Found it. So we're going to click to unpack it. We're going to accept it. We're going to right click and detach from a folder this time, just so that you got to see that. We've got black and browns, and there's different style versions of it. Just going to put on this one here. And again, you need to make sure that this is Evox, or it will not work on the UV of your head. So that's style 1. Let's go to the extreme and go to style 5 and just see how they differ. There you go. So it's a little bit lighter in places, I think, was the difference there. But that makes such a difference. So look, if you put that on and then say you put the Julian hair on, and you know, it's a much more different look. My mum just went, what did she just say? There we go. So it's very rugged sort of looking. Okay, and so that is the Carlton facial hair by Mr. Razor. And then the next item was not for men in that room. So I'm just going to pop the hair back on so we've got hair on. Okay, and then we're going to go into the next booth. And the next booth contains an AO by Body Language, Sweet, Lovely, Cute. This here, and this is Luxe. Okay, and we're going to right click it. And an animation overrider, which is called an AO by people in SL, because we tend to be lazy, is something that determines how you stand, how you walk. I'm just going to get off the pose stand that was keeping me in place. And there's different priorities. Priority 3 means that it's less powerful, in the way that if you are wearing other attachments that need animations, they won't conflict with each other. Then you've got a mixed priority and priority 4. Priority 4 being the stronger one. 3 also means that if you got to sit down, it's not going to mess with it and try and hold on to the AOs, etc. like that. So this is what this version of an AO looks like here on the bottom of my screen. I can turn it off, I can turn it on, I can turn it off, I can turn it on. And it gives me a walk. Excuse my mess. This is where I do some of my work. And a turn. Oop, through the wall. And it might have a really cool jump and landing. Look at that. So that's what your AO is. And generally speaking, we leave our AOs on all the time. But when we're sitting on furniture sometimes, or like a pose stand, you switch it off. But we generally keep them on our screens at all time, and then we can minimize it a little bit more to get it out of the way, etc. So that's a great get. And a full AO that functions for males or females, is a female one too, which I'll show later, is a great option when you're starting out and you're new. Okay, so we're going to keep that one on. And then the next thing in the booth was the pants and tank by Sadade. I really hope that's how that's said. And these are already unpacked. So we're going to put the tank top on. Now, as I said before, your body is legacy, right? As long as you're wearing the Avatar Welcome Pack body, it's legacy, which means you always wear the legacy size of things, and you always make sure that there is a legacy size included before you ever make a purchase. So you make sure that you try the demos that are free beforehand when looking at clothes, shoes, things like that. So it's clothes and shoes, and some hairstyles might need it, some accessories might need it, but you'll learn along the way. Right, so we right click and we put on the legacy fit. So see, it fits like a dream. And in the pants, trousers, these linen, these are so beautiful. We put them on, and in the legacy side, Jake is a different body by a different brand, and Legacy Athletic, I'm assuming, is a different type of legacy body, but you have the legacy body. So you just have the basic legacy body. And that's enough. That's all you need. It looks great. But if you do decide to look at other bodies, I strongly suggest that you find the stores that you like that sell the clothing you like, and then see what bodies that they make for, and then decide what body you're going to get based on that. But legacy will mean that you have trillions of options, because I think all men's stores cater for legacy. So this is the JO tank top and the JO linen trousers. And they gave a full fat pack version of these things, so you have colors galore to choose from. This is amazing. And then we'll take this one off and we'll put the trousers hut on. Okay. And you can even change the leather of your belt. the metal of your belt, so it can have a gold buckle instead of silver. So silver, gold, leather can be altered. And then your pants color can be any of these colors, which is amazing. So that looks wonderful. Great work from Saudaid. Hope I'm saying that correctly. So it just looks really wonderful, and these give you great bases because you can wear other clothing with them. Now, I don't know if you saw that, but there is tiny little bit of clipping there, and what happens is that clothing is made for bodies, but when you take animations and the movement of the body into account, sometimes you can get clipping issues. Sometimes the fit is not exact. We actually provided a bag of alphas in the booth right there. Bakes on Mesh Bomb Alpha Layers. So what these do, this is the white t-shirt icon you'll see in your inventory when these are available, and so it's only really this area. The thing about alphas is you really only need to hide the area that is the problem. So you don't have to have an exact measurement of the pants or an exact measurement of the shirt, but we've got some hipster pants ad, and so now that it's baked in, that's gone, so we're not seeing that through. So when you take those pants off, you'll see that that area is hidden. So what you can do, if you want to, is you could right click copy, then find the pants, the linen trousers, and you could right click and paste, right? And then let's go back to this and take this one off, right? And so then next time you're going to put those pants on, you got to put them on, and you know that the alpha's in there waiting for you, and you can just pop them on as well. Inventory maintenance is a real thing. So just keep it clean and keep it making sense. These are also modify the alpha layers. So if this doesn't make sense to you as a name, you can just right click it, edit it, and make it make more sense for you. Or you could just copy and paste the name of the actual pants to the name of the actual alpha so that they come up in search together, etc., things like that. Okay, so we're going to take those off. We're going to take off the alpha layer, we're going to take off the pants, and we're going to take off the top, right? And then next in that booth, we have the wonderful items from La Pointe and Bastchild, also known as under the banner of Swear. I'm going to click, hold down Shift, and select all of those pieces at once. Now teaching you a little trick, I could click them and then try and work out the stacking, but if the permissions are correct, you can right click, press touch, right click, press touch, right click, touch, 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 and then accept them, and then detach them. So now you've got the folders here. So first on, we're going to put these sneakers on, which is a stacked sneaker. And it comes with socks. It's so cute. Sorry. I get excited about things. That was so exciting. You can turn the socks off. You can turn them back on. Oh, love this, right? I'm just putting this stuff on for the first time myself, so this is really exciting. You can choose the color of the sneakers. They've given 2 colors. There are more available from their store for purchase in the future if you decide to. The laces, you can make them lighter in color or the black. Again, you can turn the socks off or keep them on, and then you can change the color of your socks. That's awesome. That is so cute. Okay. I'm so excited. Okay, so that's those. Actually, I'll keep those on because now I'm going to put on some cotton pants. So see, they've actually included an alpha here. I'll take the HUD off though. So they've included an alpha, so that's going to hide this area. Okay. And then we're going to put on the HUD and we're going to put on the actual pants. They've only included the legacy because that's all you need at this time, but they do other sizes in this store. The people that provided items had the choice of how they wanted to approach it. So we've got the blue here. This is a gorgeous blue, right? Or we've got the black. Okay, so they did these special HUDs just for the Firestorm starter area, which is great. So we're going to take off the HUD and we're going to leave on the black cotton pants. And then we're going to go with the crew neck sweater. Again, they've provided an alpha layer, which is fantastic. So right click and add, just in case there's some problems. A lot of the time you'll find that realistically a lot of the things that you need to worry about are just the elbows and the armpits. That's my experience anyway. Elbows and armpits. Putting on the sweater and adding the HUD. Isn't that beautiful? And because the designers created this together or with their own products in mind, the sweater fits over the pants. You may find that if you have pants from one store and then a shirt from another store, that there might be clipping between the mesh. How much you care about that is completely up to you. But these, because they're the same brand, they fit really, really well with each other. The blue and the black. Okay, that's just very, very handsome look there. Taking that off, taking off these, taking off these. I really love that the underpants are baked onto your starter skins because I can just take your clothes off. Okay, then we have these Redux jeans called salvage jeans. These are awesome. I love the rolled up cuffs. We've got the HUD and we've got the alpha. And they come in a lighter blue and a darker blue, which is just great. And then we have the Chase shirt, also by LaPointe Bashchild. Wear the alpha. Actually, not wear. I should have added because it took off the other one. So wear is usually like a replacement thing. So a lot of people just add everything. I don't, but it's just a habit. So see how this is designed? You'll see in a second why. Because this shirt is open here. So they've just cared about the bits that you would actually see. And see how beautifully this fits over the top with the jeans and the shoes and the shirt all fitting together perfectly well. Putting on the HUD, and they've given you the red plaid, a green, and a blue. And these are wonderful. Now, just to show you, if I took off these jeans and I put on the cotton pants, there's a slight little bit here, but again, how much that you care about that is however. But this is about just learning about your inventory and how it works. So we could also try, for instance, the other pants. Where were those? I've lost them. Oh, there they are, the linen trousers. This is just to see. So they're the leg. See, look at that. So you could wear that shirt with pants from a different brand and they look great together, and then you've got more colors as well. So you've got a really versatile starter outfit here. Okay, and now I'm going to take off these pants and I'm going to put back on the jeans, and I'm going to take off these sneakers. And then I'm going to find the Cult folder. Here we go. Cult did some shoes called Brody, which is such a cool name. Accept, detach, right click. See, you can see some other bodies have been made for here. You'll start to get familiar with all of that, but you need the legacy male. Okay, and these shoes fit great. And they've given a HUD too for color options. Oh my goodness, so many colors. Spoiled for choice. And then you've got a choice to change the metals. You can turn off the shine. There, that's a bit better. But the matte looks a little bit better for those shoes. And then you've got some special colors, very white, and a black latex kind of look. And that's by Cult and Fatal or Fatal. See, I want to get all fancy up in there with Fatal, but it is probably just Fatal. Well, it's Fatal. There you go. Like Fae, like fairies. Yeah, look, Fatal. And that's their girl necklace. Where is their boy necklace? They included... Oh, there we go. Dagon. Add. I should have probably gone and gotten the boys stuff before I got the girl stuff, because I've just confused myself. Because it's really, really generous. That most of the brands actually provided more than one item, or male and female items if they catered to both. So you've scored very well. And that's a necklace there. Going closer, it's a barbed wire chain, which looks great, and it fits perfectly under the shirt. That's also amazing. And there's a HUD which allows for all sorts of metal options, and you can change the metal independently, so you could have the silver chain and the black barbs, or purple barbs, or gold barbs. That's fantastic. There you go. And then to round it down with an accessory, we're going to find our Flare water bottle. And this is an unpacker that you actually wear. Some do that, some do it on the screen. It just depends. This one automatically detaches once you've unpacked it. And this will need you to put all three parts on, so put them together. And this is animated, so you drink through it, and there's lots of color options. Because I'm on the pose stand and I'm doing a forward fronted pose, it's sort of like hidden in my body, so it's just not the right pose for it. Let me just stand up and then you'll see. There you go, that's better. So this one, you can change the lid and the bottle independently of each other. There's a blue, look at that. There's also a green that actually matches the shirts too, and a red. All the colors are catered for. And as you'll notice over here, it's changing the lid in your hand as well, so you need to make sure that you've got both things on, because then this happens. See, it looks like you've unscrewed it from the top and drunk it from the bottle. Then you've also got the metal options. So the external metal is the little clip here, and the internal is inside. You can make them be the same as each other or separate from each other, it's up to you. And you can keep it on hydrate, so it'll just change animation. It'll do the animation about every 90 seconds or so, or if not longer. Or you can just drink whenever you feel like it by clicking and drinking. Or you can just hold it and then it won't animate. It'll just look like you're holding it. So hydrate for it to play every so often. And then you can press stop if you want it to be not doing anything, but there's no real reason to do that. Okay. And depending on your shape, you can use the drop down here, so it'll adjust to what you need it to be dependent on your shoulder width, etc. So if you change your shape, you might need to actually change that. And then you've also got options to move the way it sits in your hand. As you can see, that's slightly moving. And we've got this thing called RLV in Second Life that you have to have activated. I think it is here, or advanced here, restrained love. It's a whole other adult sort of thing, but you can actually utilize it for great things. So if you turn the lock on here, it won't detach. So if you put something on that's set to the same attachment point, which is right hand, which pretty much means a lot of things, if you don't add and you chose wear, for instance, this would come off. So once you've got it on, lock it in, and then you can unlock it before you take it off at your own, the way you want to do it, whenever you want to do it. Okay, and you can also make it larger, so if you wanted to resize it because it looked too small, you could do that, and it's modify, so you can have a lot of fun with that. I hope you enjoy that. That's actually my product. Okay, so that is the male items that we have at the Firestorm welcome area. Put the AO back on, and so handsome and lots of fun to play with. And then everything that you go forward and get, maybe group gifts or gifts in other stores, or when you go shopping and you buy things, just remember, as I said, you need to make sure that the fit is for legacy body if you stay in this body, which is a very top quality body. And head, you've got the Akaruka head on, or the Luluka head was the one that you came in with. With the Akaruka and the Luluka, they all work with Evox, EVOX. So if you're changing skins, or you want to buy facial hair or eyebrows, etc., you need to make sure they're Evox. But all of those things should always have demos, DEMOS or DEMO, that you'll see in stores. They should be free, and they give you the chance to try things on beforehand. Now, before we do anything else, I did this in the other video about the welcome pack, but I'm just going to show you real quickly again. If you right click yourself, go to appearance, edit outfit, right? It shows you all the things that you've got there. You press the arrow and you're over here in outfits, save as, right? And you can say blue shirt Mike. Or instead of naming the outfit after your head, you could name it after yourself, whatever you like. And you can put the date there if you want to as well. I live in the future, so just excuse the dating. Okay? And then when you've saved that, that means that you're going to be able to come back to that no matter what happens. So if you accidentally, for instance, turned into a girl from a last video I did, and you're like, oh no, what happened? You can go like this, and there you go. So any outfits that you end up putting together and then you're happy with the look, you can save it to an outfit. You can also access this section here by pressing the icon that looks like a white t-shirt. It'll also show you all the pieces that you're wearing, and it will show you an outfit gallery that'll make it easier. And also you can do this. So you're in the outfits, you go to the outfits, you click on this, you right click, you press image. So now you know which outfit it was, and now it's there in the gallery. Now, I am not sure if they charge you the 10 lindens that you usually pay for snapshots. Oh, well, I do know, because I don't have any money. So they don't. There you go. I answered my own silly. So you don't get charged for those snapshots because they're part of their own inbuilt inventory system. So there you go. That's how you can keep track of all your outfits, and then you would know that that's the one that you want to put on and wear it from there. So I'm going to stop there for the males. Okay, so now for the ladies stuff at the female booth and the middle section. So I unpacked some of the things really quickly, and because you've just possibly watched 43 minutes of me doing it for the boys, So we're going to go in, we're going to remove the AO and the head that's included in the welcome pack. We're going to go to the Akaruka Evox Melina head. Now, this is actually the head that I wear full time, and I absolutely love this head. So that worked out perfectly. We're going to put in the rigged eyes. We're going to put on the head, and you can adjust your shape if you decide, as we went through before. And then you've got things like a face light, gestures, braces and piercings, tongue splits, as I said before, and the different ears. But you can check all of that out when you go through. We can do things to edit the shape. Like I said, to me, her arms are not long enough for her height. So I'll just show you, they're in the torso section. We've got shoulders and arm length here. There you go. That looks a little bit more realistic. There we go. Okay. So again, her underwear is baked on, which is a little bit problematic up here with some clothing, but it shouldn't affect anything that you get from the booth area at the Firestorm area. So the first item, and I just love it, is by Sigma, and they're these heart rings here. Again, this is a legacy body, so you would right click and add the. They're on the hands. I'm going to go up to here, and I'm going to get off the pose stand for a quick second. Press pose stand here because it brings your fingers up so you can see, and as you can see, they're worn on the hands and they just look great. Then you go to the HUD here, and you've got different options for the included gemstones for the different rings, so you can see them changing here on the fingers. And you've got the option of different metals, which is just lovely. These are PBR metals, so they'll look amazing under the different lights. Okay, and then you've got the option to hide different rings or show them. And personalize the look the way that you want it. So you might just want to wear those. So as I said, you can do different things. You could all just hide them on one hand and just wear them all on the other, if that's what you wanted to do. See? So you could just have them all on your right hand if you liked. So all the combinations are up to you, and the different gemstones are up to you, the metals, and they're just beautiful. They're by Sigma. So I'm going to turn off that so my hands aren't in the way anymore. I'm going to stand like that, and there you go. Detach this, and the rings will stay on. Then we have some bakes on mesh. So as I explained before, system layers, bomb layers, or what we call system layers, they're actually baking onto your mesh body. So they're great for having in your inventory as, you know, backups to how you want to get dressed, or things for under things. Like you might have a really baggy long sweater that you want to wear, but you might find that mesh leggings don't really fit under them very well. So having something like bomb leggings are an absolute must. And Alaska is all inclusive, so she's done it on an auxiliary layer, a pants layer, and a tattoo layer, so that you're always going to have the option of how you want to wear them. So I'm going to wear them on the pants layer, and there they go on there. See, and they've come in a black, a grey, and a light grey, and she's got many more options in her store. So they're by Alaska Metro, who also does incredible makeup, and she included a lipstick. Here we go, lipstick that are also done for Evox, And she's done lipsticks, and if you look at her image like this, it tells you which number. So if you like, say, number 3, you would wear 3, and she does it in 2 options, so 60% opacity or full opacity. So there you go. So then you've got some makeup, and makeup is amazing. Alaska Metro is one of my biggest folders in my inventory. I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of her items over the years. So you can change them. You can have one with a lighter opacity, like I mentioned. And that looks really lovely. So that's the Nova lipstick. So I wanted to show you both Alaska items at the same time. Then we had the bottle that I showed you on the men, which is by Flair. And there you go, having a drink. All very good. And taking that off, because you saw already how that changed with the HUD. And then there's another Flair item here somewhere, which I'll show you in a second, with some hair. So we've got the LaPont and Bashchild did a wonderful set of clothing as well for the females. So this is the Aspen cropped sweater, which is so cute because it's a 2-layer sweater. Okay, and then the Gemma jeans, which again with the alpha layer and a HUD, so you can wear them in the pink or you can wear them in a teal, and they're so complementary to each other that one pink, one teal works really well, or you could go both pink, etc. Okay, and they also included some sneakers like the ones that the boys had, which are these cute new stack sneakers. Oh, and they've got socks too. So you can have the socks on or off. You can have different colored socks. I should put them on before I say that. So black, pink, white, grey, and then you can change the colors of the laces and the colors of the shoes, which is so much fun. Okay, and I'm gonna pop some hair on. So actually we'll go with the ADE because they're the first in that area. So the unpacker, unpack it. This is the Zarina hair. So let's go with, they've done head size and chest size, and depending on the kind of body, that looks really beautiful. You've got the HUD, the different colors that you can wear, and then you can go styling, so forward, one side, the other side, or behind the shoulders. And when they mean hair base, they mean this hairline look that's part of the hairstyle. They don't actually mean the painted on hair base that would be if the hair was removed. So you can hide and show that. That can also be because you're wearing your own hair base that might have little kiss curls or something like that. So you might actually prefer this one here. And you can turn off the animations so they don't play when you're changing your hair. Some people love that, some people get over it quickly. It's just personal preference. I still find the magic and all that, it's really fun. You can be a redhead, darker redhead, and so on and so forth. Right, that's a lot of fun. So then we have, so that was by ADE. So remove from current outfit, and we'll take off the clothing by LaPont and Bashchild. Thank you so much. They did a great job. And then we have Fashionably Dead did a really special, beautiful top here called the Burnout Top. And as you can see, people create for many, many bodies, but remember, you are the legacy body at this time, and the legacy alpha, just in case it's needed. And it's a fat pack. Fat pack in Second Life language means all colors included, but some different stores have different names for their packs, so it might just depend, but fat pack usually means all colors. This is a beautiful top. So then if you were going to marry that up with some hair, so let's go with this size. This is the Esmeralda hair. It's just beautiful. And there's a style HUD that lets you change how it's positioned. Let's put it behind the shoulders. And then you've got some bangs add-ons that you can add. Oh, they're so cute. Look at that. And then we've got the HUD. Let's go for an ombre's look this time. Mina Hair also did the bobby hairstyle, which was the man bun that you could wear as either a girl or a boy. So it was a unisex style. There you go, some of these fun colors. Oh, that's so cute. Look at that. Okay, and then customizing, you could give it a tint if you wanted to, and you can save some of the tint colors that you like. So we'll take that one off, and let's just put the jeans back on for a second to see if they work with this top. Yep, they do work with this top. They work very well. And the back of the top is backless. It's gorgeous. So you've got that there. And then I wanted to show that there is also the Darlington headband by Flair, which is my brand again. And it's got an unpacker bag. And then you can add and add. You might need to go into edit depending on the hair that you're wearing, and I'm just going to pull that up, pull it forward a little bit. This is not my shape that I've got on at the moment, so it was sitting where it was on my on my shape, so it was perfectly lined up, but this is just the way things are. This color works perfectly with this color, but you've got different colors that you can change to. Different colors for the gemstones and different colors for the metals. So hopefully you will enjoy that. And a lot of the time, as I said, there's minimize and maximize buttons for HUDs. That could be that you just want to leave it on all the time and just get it out of your way. But it also means scripts are running and everything like that. So it is always better to just detach them when you can. Okay, so that's Fashionably Dead, the burnout top. So many colors. The jeans, the hair by Mina, which is just beautiful, and the headband. And then we're going to take that off, and we're going to move on to the next part, which is Sinful. So we'll take this off. We'll take these off. We'll remove the alpha that was included. Like I said, some stores will include an alpha, some won't. It will just depend on what they're used to doing. Because your body was an included body with the welcome pack, you don't actually have a HUD for the body. In the HUD you would have different height feet. You would also have an alpha HUD and all sorts of different features for it. But because of Bakes on Mesh, you don't actually need an alpha HUD because you can just hide things manually. So it's just different learning curve. But as I said, we included Bakes on Mesh layers at the location that you can use. So now we have Sinful, and she has this beautiful polo neck dress. Let's try it in the lavender. So we're going to right click and add. We're going to accept it because that was an unpacker, but you can see a lot of color choices, and you will also see a lot of sizes because she makes for a lot of products. And we add. Now this is a fantastic dress for going out clubbing, etc. But as I had mentioned earlier, if you wanted to be a little bit more modest, or you wanted it to just be a little bit more of a casual look, you could put on the leggings, right? And so then you have just different looks that way. So you've got lots of versatility. I'll put on the grey. Might look different with the purple. Okay, that's lovely. They look great together. And then we've got Talia Heckroth. I felt like I should have said, come on down. Talia Heckroth, come on down. Unpack. Oh, isn't that so pretty? People get so imaginative with their unpacker HUDs and everything. That's just really fun. Then you've got a shoe base. This brings you a little bit out of the floor if needed. Okay. And then we need the legacy size shoes. And then we need the HUD. So these are these cute little flats, right? And we're going to look at the colors. So we've got black, we've got brown, we've got nude, we've got red, and we've got white. And then the sole's different color too. That nude, actually, let's just run back to the Sinful folder. She actually did a dress in the nude. That sounded wrong. She did a dress that was colored nude, is what I meant to say. She's going to kill me later. So we go to the legacy. And there we go. Look at that. Nude colored shoes, nude colored dress, and the leggings. Or not leggings. Just depends on what you want to do there. Okay. So they're great. And that's Sinful that did the dress, and the shoes by Talia Heckroth. Okay, and Sinful put out another item, which is the Hillies top and groovy tweed pants, which I like. Seriously, I love these pants. And she actually packaged these together to make it much easier for you, but they would normally come as a top and as pants. So if you're ever looking to get more of them, which can't say I blame you, you would be looking for the tweed pants as a separate purchase and the top as a separate purchase. So here we go. Here I'm going to take these shoes off, and then I'm going to show you something about how this works with flat feet. So we've got the pants on in the Legacy, and we've got the top on in the Legacy, and they fit like a dream. But these pants were actually designed to work more with a heel foot, right? Okay. So you've got all these different colors, so you can have a different colored belt, you can have a different color medal, and then you've got the buckle there. And we're in the dark grey set, so the pants don't actually have a change. So we actually unpacked the color as it is. So the things you're changing are the elements. So that gives it a splash of red, and that's really awesome there. So you'd need to just unpack all the different colors so that you can mix and match them how you want them, and that's easy. But what I wanted to explain was, as I said, with full bodies, you will actually get heights of feet. So if you came across this happening with a HUD for your body, you would either just change the position to the high so that they would be in high heel shoes, or you would just make them vanish. Most people just make their feet vanish. So, as I said previously, we would find that Bakes on Mesh folder, and we want to hide the toenails and the feet with the female. And there you go. So the fact is that when you would be on the floor, people wouldn't really even notice or pay any mind to that. But if you had high heel shoes on, maybe the pointiness of the shoes would poke out there. That's all going to be learning curve information for you along the way, right? So I just want to show you another thing while we're in the area of while we're in the area of the shoes, and I stood on the wrong pose stand. There we go. So we're in the area of shoes and what you can do with flat feet. So again, I told you that flat feet does not have to stop you from wearing things that have a heel, because if the shoe itself or the boot itself is actually all covering, as in the foot is completely invisible inside of the product, then you can wear any of the products. So we're going to take the pants off for a second. And we're going to put on the Legacy boots. Now, because we already have the hide feet and the hide toenails one, as you will see, bam, now you've got a high heel on, and nobody knows that you only have flat feet available to you, right? And then these might not work because of the ribbons, but let's just have a look for a second. So if we put the pants back on, see, pretend that these are just shoes, high heels. If you put them on like that, you would see them poking out of the pants, and that looks great. Also, even if these shoes weren't fully encompassing, as long as all this section is completely hidden, again, if you just hide your feet, it would appear that you can wear heels. It's just another one of those tricks that you'll learn along the way. So as you see, you've got these boots options. And when you grab the boots, which are wonderful boots by Cult also did those shoes for the guys called Brody. The HUD here. So edit, you can move it across your screen a little bit. And then you've got so many different things you can do. And that's a whole lot of colors going on there. But isn't that fun? And you'll find that a lot of designers do amazing things like that with the use of materials, as you saw with the jeans just a moment ago, being able to separately color the belt, separately color the medals. It's a lot of fun. So that's those there. And then in Fatale we have the Lucille necklace. And as I mentioned before, with the bakes on mesh layer, you could hide toenails and feet, take a copy of that and paste it into your Cult folder. So you've got it there at the ready. So now you've got this beautiful necklace. Isn't that stunning? That is so stunning. And we can go back to the top. Let's just check if that, oh no, that clips. That's gonna happen. Like, we just can't avoid things really like that. It just depends from creator to creator. But if you were wearing a top that was lower, that will be perfect. Where did it go? I wanted to just show you the HUD. Okay. So you've got the different metals. That's beautiful. Look how stunning that rose gold is. You're going to be able to do a lot with such a beautiful necklace. What is it? The elements? So on, off. Ah, it is. Oh, that's even better. Look, hold on. There you go. So you could just wear that part, and then that should work with, no, not that one. So off the second one, on the first one. just. And I would totally let that go. Like, that tiny little bit of an issue is not an issue. Like, it's nobody's, you know, fault there or anything. It's just the way. That's amazing. So you'd be able to wear that jewelry together. Yay! Oh, we have an AO for the females called Canary, which is such a cute name. So much like the male one, you just wear the priority that you want. Let's stand. And we turn it on. Whoop! There we go. Oh! She's gonna do a little dance. She's very adorable. That's a gorgeous AO. Sweet, lovely, cute is not named Sweet, lovely, cute for nothing. Awesome. Let's get back up on the pose stand. Whoops! Oi. Again, 19.5 years here and I still lose control of my camera just like everybody else. We have this beautiful wreath, blossom wreath by Sparkle Sky. Let's do it in the soft pink. See, you've got 4 colors: lilac, peach, soft blue and soft pink. Isn't that just beautiful? So it's a floral crown, so if you decide that you want to be fae or just you want to wear adornments, you will notice that people are accessories obsessed in Second Life in a great way. So you can have elf ears and fae headdresses, but you could be dressed in a punk rocker outfit or something like that, and you can just have so much fun. And then the Dainty Flower body art is just beautiful hand-drawn floral body art. We're not going to call it a tattoo, we're going to call it body art. So just imagine that Sparkle Sky just Sparkly Sugar just landed in your house and hand painted some flowers here on your hips. So if you're wearing your pants, your tweed pants, they would look like they were just poking out. I love that look. It's just so cute. And those come in a variety of colors. You've got your blue, your lilac, your ivory and your blush, and left hip or right hip, or you could just wear it on both, or you can wear different colors on both. So we could go with the ivory on the right. Beautiful. They look so cute. So Exile did a beautiful style called Claudia, and if you notice the ad, she looks so much like Adele, which I love, because I keep saying that if I was new and I landed and I saw that I could look like a famous person, if that was like the kind of thing that I like to do, that would be so exciting to just see it like that. This is the Claudia hair. It's all flicky and fabulous. And you've got the style me options. So it's like that, or it's a little bit more wind tousled. Very, very strong photography scene in Second Life, whether it's blogging or art or just like taking pictures. So things that look like there's some sort of movement, etc., are very popular. So you'll actually see a lot of hairstyles that have like that wind blown look. It's for photos like that, so I could be standing by the water or on the deck of a yacht, etc., etc. So you've got all the different colors that you can choose, and go down to some of these fun colorful colors. And again, you've got the settings, so you can turn off the materials that give it a bit more realism, put them back on. You can add a little bit of glow if you wanted to. You could be dressing up as being from the future or something. You could decide that you want your hair to glow. And then you've got the Style Me, as we already showed. The changes there. So that's Claudia by Exile. And we've done all these parts here: the blossom wreath, the clothes, the Mina, Fatale, Exile. We've got on the Melina head, and I think that is all the parts. So I hope you liked that run through of all the pieces. I hope that I didn't talk too fast. I probably did. But if that gives you a sense of how things like HUDs work, things that need to be unpacked versus things that are already unpacked, the fact that items could, when you buy items that are packed, most of the time they will actually go to an objects folder, but there are times when they could actually just go to a folder that's already unpacked, or you may need to unpack again. It just depends on how they've set up their system. And if you ever purchase things off Marketplace, just so you know, Marketplace items will go to a received items folder. So they will be there before you need to unpack them from received items, and received items folder would also appear up here if you have a new item that you've received. So for instance, if I go back further, there you go. When I bought the VR Studio, it was delivered there, and then I unpacked it from there and it was in my folder. So before I finish up, I'm actually going to add my teeth, which I can't believe that I forgot that. Yeah, I'd roll my eyes at myself too. And I'm actually going to put on a brow shaper, so you can see the effect of that. That should tone them down a little bit, or not. Let's have a look. So the eyebrow size, see, this can actually help with the adjustment of your shape. So no, it just depends. That can bring them down a little bit, can arch them a little bit, and decide there. These are quite thick eyebrows in general as part of the skin. And then when we get back to this spot here, if you're happy with that look as before, you would save as, and let's just name it Melina Base. And I forgot to put the date on it. It's actually not the 14th, and oh no, it still is for me. 14th of December 2025. It's about to not be though. There you go. So if I was to turn around and say I decided that I wanted to have elf ears on, and I wanted it to be the case going forward, you can see how cute they look with my little ears pointing through. Because I added that to the outfit, if I wanted to keep it that way, I could just go down and save, and it would add the elf ears in there. And if I wanted to take them off and I decided I didn't want that outfit saved with that, I could save it again and it would save them without. So I really hope that that was as fun for you as it was for me, unpacking all those items, trying them all on, and seeing the boy and girl options that we have. And if you're a new resident under 90 days, that's all yours for the taking, and you'll find them at the Firestorm Social Island, and I'll include the slurs with the post, of course. Have a lovely rest of your week. Bye.